Hi, we're Lex, Chloe, and Annie, and we're going to be presenting on the research we've been doing in the Sultan lab this summer.
The experiment we've been working on this summer is a culmination of 3 summers of plant growth in the Wesleyan greenhouses. During the summer of 2019, the Sultan lab grew 12 different genotypes of Polygonum persicaria, a generalist annual plant, and 2 parental-like conditions, sun versus shade. These achenes, or seeds, were collected to provide a group of offspring that differed only in regard to the controlled parent environment and genotype. From here, we could test for inherited effects on offspring development. The achenes from 2019 were grown again in 2 like conditions, sun versus shade, in 2020, allowed to reproduce and grown again for a 3rd generation this summer. This multi-year setup enabled us to test if the grandparent light environment can affect growth and development in a 3rd generation of offspring grown in variable light conditions. Thus, the goal of this summer's work is to resolve higher order interactions in plant development and learn how plants use both with and across generation plasticity, which is the ability to produce multiple traits in different environments without any underlying genetic change to respond to environmental change.
This summer, to examine a potential effect of grandparent environment on grand offspring growth and performance, we chose 10 genotypes collected from the 2020 summer experiment. With 2 grandparent environments, sun versus shade, 2 parent environments, sun versus shade, and 2 offspring environments, also sun versus shade, we had 80 experimental contrast. With 24 replicates for most traits and 8 to 24 replicates for biomass collection, we measured over 2,500 plants. Emergence time was recorded daily for 2 weeks, and height, total leaf area, and biomass measurements were taken twice early in the plant's life cycle. Our research questions were, does the light environment experienced by grandparents affect the growth and development of their grandchildren? And how does this alter our picture of plant development? How big are the effects of the grandparent environment on offspring compared to other variables such as parent environment, offspring environment, and genotype? And do we see interactions between genotype, offspring, parent, and grandparent environments that ultimately affect plant development?
For the 3 phenotypes we analyzed on our poster, biomass, emergence time, and height, the grandparent light environment had a significant effect on offspring development, but was dependent on the plant's genotype. The response to the grandparent environment was also often dependent on both the parent and offspring environments. Overall, this implies that the process by which individuals integrate information about past and present environments has a genetic basis and itself can evolve. The finding that plants respond to the environments experienced by previous generations, in addition to their own environment, has important implications for thinking about how organisms can respond to environmental change, including rapid and intense anthropogenic changes like habitat fragmentation, climate change, invasive weedy species, etc. Evolution may be acting on these plastic response systems in addition to specific plant traits. Inherited plasticity could allow some species to survive these anthropogenic changes by broadening responses to changing environmental conditions.
Okay, woohoo!